all of them at the same time, especially in the last decade. Groups that were never heard from before are finally finding a voice. So that means they might start screaming until they feel comfortable with just speaking normal. And until society learns they need to be heard, body positivity movements are extremely important. But that doesn't mean that they can't be harmful. The problem is, people are taking everything to the extreme. When we look at body shaming, there are two sides to the extreme, and both are terrible. Thank you, Manu. Appreciate that feedback and the advice on the metric system.
Now, there was one thing that she said, too, in the email that wasn't really addressed here, but talking about how it's a heavier issue for females.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree with that, but I also want to make the point that body shaming isn't only a female thing.
Right.
Because, the argument has been made, about, like, Barbie.
Right.
How that doll, when that came out,
right,
that gave women, little girls, a false idea of what a female body looks like.
Right.
And I would say, agreed, and I'll raise you He-Man.
Yes. Yeah. Because I raise you He-Man.
Right, because the boys growing up, we kind of had that idea too. And there's a lot of boys that I think have body issues that go unaddressed because they aren't fitting with what the standard is and that ideal standard for men. Now, I would also agree it's probably not as big of an issue for the men as it is female, but I will make the point that I do think it's there and highly under-addressed.
I think body image is a human issue. Even the people I know that have great bodies, part of why they have it is because they've really been paying attention to it, and that hyper, focus on it usually means they're very scrutinizing as well. And so they, I think that's a human concern. But Manu, great note, and really appreciate the feedback, and really appreciated the depth that you took that email to. Thank you for that.
And thank you for becoming a Patreon.
Yes, not just a Patreon, but a theropod.
A theropod. Yeah, so we definitely want to thank all of our Patreons. We launched our Patreon.
We haven't lost it yet.
We haven't lost it yet. Give us a week.
Give us another week.
We launched our Patreon last week and expected that maybe our moms would sign up, which, as we said before, they didn't.
Unless she signed up as all those names.
It's possible. So we want to thank some of our listeners who signed up. So starting with our Therapals, big thank you to Dawn Hill and Dan Martin, who each gave $1 a month. Thank you for that. We really appreciate it. We also want to give a special thank you to our new Theropods. Big thank you going out to Corey McTits, Linda Brandmeier, Mandy Abela, Manuela Musicayo.
Yep.
We probably got that wrong.
Close enough.
And Scoop John B., all of whom gave $5 a month. Big thank you. We really appreciate that.
You also mispronounced Mandy Abela. She's from Australia, so it's Mandy, or Mandy Abela. Mate. you gotta add that in there, or she won't even understand what you said.
Send your letters to Jim.
But that's not all, Nick. What else do we got?
That's not all. That we have our first Theraproducer.
Yeah, top of the line, elite of the elite.
Yes, Smitty Scoop. Thank you very much. You set the record. You are now our first and currently only Theraproducer, but we really look forward to many more. And we will be he will be contributing to our show, $20 a month, and will contribute a message to the show during our ads. So. Our next episode will be brought to you specifically by Smitty Scoop. It will be Smitty Scoop's episode.
That's
so I'm really excited for that.
And he'll be even featured in the show notes. And another thing, though, Nick, did you notice that whenever we got a Theropod, I had a very special tweet for them? Did you notice the GIF?
The GIF, yeah.
I'm going to tell you something. In the first year of this show, there are a lot of things that we have accomplished that I am proud of. Nothing even comes close to my discovery of that GIF. It is from a documentary called Jesus Camp.
Yeah,
it's about
I've seen
all
that,
these children who go to this the spiritual camp, and they're losing their minds screaming, and somebody put flashing strobes behind that, and then put a raptor head on the woman who's in charge of the camp.
Yeah.
And it is my favorite GIF of all time, and I reserve it only for Theropods and for Theraproducers because it is glorious. I'm so proud of
that. If we ever do make t-shirts, I think that would be a good one.
Gosh, just somehow get that on there.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing.
And this is part of this show. We also talk about reviews. We'll read out any reviews that we got. We didn't actually get any this week. But I do want to say to all of our listeners out there, Thank you for everybody who becomes a Patreon, but we realize not everybody can do that, and we don't expect anybody to do that. If you want to contribute to the show, but you don't really have any extra money to give, no problem. Give us a review.
That's right.
That would be very beneficial to us. And honestly, even if you don't want to give us a review, just follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, at the very least.
We need followers.
I mean, something.
It's looking pretty sad.
But just nod your head while you're listening to this.
Yeah.
All right, accepted. We'll take that.
Yes. But thank you to all our listeners. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, review us on iTunes or on Facebook. And if you do 5 stars, we will actually read your review out loud at this part of the show. That's all the time that we've got for this week's session. Thank you to those who contributed to our show today. We really appreciate it. Remember, Pod Therapy isn't something you should keep all to yourself. Help us reach others by sharing this episode. You can find us at facebook.com/podtherapy, on Twitter at PodTherapyGuys, and now on Patreon at patreon.com/therapy.
Do you want to add your own advice to today's questions? Post your thoughts at podtherapy.net and join the conversation. I'm Nick Tangeman.
I'm Smitty Scoop.
Thanks, and we'll see you for your appointment next week.